Hello everybody, this is immigration attorney Irene Weisman. Today is Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. I hope everybody is doing well. I apologize, I didn't have a chance to get over here and update you with things, but we'll try to do so right now, okay? So one of the new requirements that I am seeing that the immigration judges started to ask for in immigration court is something called metadata. Okay, so what is metadata? I had no idea actually, so I had to teach this. I knew what it was. I didn't know that it was called metadata. So when your case is in immigration court and we have to produce not only an application, right, application for relief, but we also have to produce supporting documents. And the supporting documents can take many different forms. So we have, biographic documents such as passports, birth certificates, divorce decrees, marriage decrees, right? So that's the civil documents type of documents. Then we have, in asylum cases, we have something called country conditions. We actually have that not just in asylum cases, but, usually that's where we see it often, the asylum cases. The country conditions, that's the Department of State Human Rights reports, the Freedom of the World reports, the newspaper articles. Just basically information found, reports and information found on the internet, sometimes through a more particularized search to educate the judge, DHS, as to the conditions of your particular home country. And basically, those reports, that material will hopefully support the claim that you're making. For example, if your claim is a political opinion claim, then you would hope that the reports talk about political persecutions, the inability to have fair elections, people being unlawfully detained at rallies, arbitrary arrests and detentions. If the claim is a religion claim, then you would think that the reports you're producing would talk about the persecution of people in your home country, of people of that religion, right? And how it happens, and that persecution comes from the government, and how the police and the government is unable to help if it's not coming from the government. Then we have other forms of supporting evidence, supporting documents. And that evidence is actually affidavits from, people with knowledge. Medical reports, if you were injured, if you were in the hospital, so medical reports, right? Police reports, if you were arrested or detained and you happen to have a report of that arrest or detention, then like a police report. If you were summoned to go to the police or the prosecutor's office or court, that summons. If there is a judgment against you, right, a civil or a criminal judgment against you, and that deals with your particular claim, then a copy of that judgment. And sometimes we are able to produce photographs of, for example, you went to a rally, right? And you have pictures of you in that rally. That's definitely evidence that we'd like to submit, or their videos. Now, we can't necessarily submit videos to immigration court. They don't have the capability to view a video. If I have a video from a client of mine, what I do is we break it into basically screenshots of, like one by one what happened in that video. And if somebody is talking in that video, then I ask a transcriber to basically transcribe exactly what was said in that video. Okay, and that's how I'm able to um, put that video into evidence. Okay, now sometimes those photographs and those videos from social media, especially now in in today's world where social media is a big thing. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. So this is where the metadata comes into play, and this is it seems to be a new requirement by many judges. If you are producing evidence in a form of posts from social media, okay, any social media, you have to produce what's called metadata, okay? So what is metadata? Metadata shows to the judge, whoever is looking at this, where did this post come from, on what date, okay, at what time. So it would identify the platform. It would have like that the screenshot of what it is we are submitting. It will have a description, right, of what it is. And by the way, if that description is not in the English language, then a certified translator would have to translate that and provide a certificate of translation for what it is that's there. And the metadata would show the original URL, okay, where it's coming from, and it will have the date and time that when it was captured, okay. I think I know how to do this on Facebook. I'm not too sure how to do it in Instagram or Telegram. I just need to play around with it, play around with the posts. But, there is a capability to do this from all social media platforms. So, before, when I produced evidence in the form of photographs that sometimes did actually in fact come from social media, if it wasn't in English, we would certify translated it. We would always describe the date when this was taken and the type of event this is, okay. So this seems to no longer be enough. Now, on top of the description and the date, and description of the event, we, if available, we would also need to produce metadata, okay, with the URL, the date and time, and like all that stuff. So just please be aware of it, okay. If you're pulling evidence from social media, just be aware that when not just send screenshot, but take that extra step and obtain the data and give that to your attorney to put together with that screenshot, because chances are they're going to need it, because many judges all over the country are starting to require this, okay. So just be aware of it, and don't put it off until later. This is what I also say to all my clients. If so I understand it may be tough when the rally was a few years ago, but then again, if it's on social media, if it still stayed there, then it's going to be there. But if you're attending a rally here in the United States in support of something that's going on in your home country, and there's some pictures that happen, that are later popped up on social media, don't just do the screenshot for your attorney. Get the screenshot, get the metadata, and give this to your attorney so that they have it. So when we actually need it in preparation of your hearing, we would have it. Okay, just to save everybody time. For most importantly yourself. Okay. So very very new, I guess. This just started happening about a week ago or so, or at least this is what we're seeing in immigration court from the immigration judges with the scheduling orders. Um, we're seeing this requirement. Okay. I am gonna end for today. Just try to keep it short, and we'll try to produce another video for you soon. Okay. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.